The colours to look for. Christian Sarron is in the dark blue with a white. There's Wayne Gardner. Sarron almost all blue. There he is there now, bike number 7. Eddie Lawson, the hot red and white machine. Kevin McGee in the red, white and black. Randy Mamler, his bike, leathers all red.
Yeah, Christian's over on your far right of the screen, and then next to Christian is number 1, Wayne.
Set for a start now. Rev starting to build up. Sarron on pole, on bike 7, and they're away. Well, it wasn't a good start for Christian Sarron. There was a bit of jumping off the line there, Barry.
Yeah, far too much jumping, and they should stop it. They should put a block on it now. Should restart the race, really. That's Neil McKenzie, and it's followed by Kevin Schwanz and Wayne Gardner and Wayne Rainey.
Well, a surprise on the start. Some of the back markers, or not back markers, but the slower qualifiers really getting through there on a jump start and leaving the fancied front row well out of it at the moment.
Yeah, it's such a bad thing. They shouldn't allow that. They should stop the thing now and restart it again, because if they let things like that go on, it will just get worse and worse.
Well, here comes the pack now as they wind their way through, but it's McKenzie and Schwanz first and second at the moment.
Now, what Wayne's got to do on the first lap here is get a good slipstream off these guys and get up with the front guys, with the front runners. Otherwise, if you get stuck behind Rickard, it's surprising how easy it is to lose ground, and it's very, very difficult to get it back again.
The Minstrel Straight, 1,800 metres in length.
Yeah,
so.
Good shot by Wayne there. He's up in front now.
So Gardner has come through from behind that early jumping pack, and he's leading the race. So great news for Australia. Wayne Gardner in front. We should get a shot of the front runners very shortly.
Oh, it looks like Schwanz got his arm up in there for some reason or another. And that's Sarron up into second place now. The next section they come to now is a long, long left-hander followed by a long right-hander. And I can remember Christian being very, very quick around it, so don't be at all surprised if when they come into sight again, if you see Christian in the lead.
Well, the pack really starting to pour through here, and we're just waiting to get some established shots up front.
Rainey and McGee third and fourth. Well, that's the main thing out of the way. At Rickard, you have to run a very Christian in the lead.
Well, let's go back to that incident where we saw Schwanz with his arm in the air. It looked like that he and Gardner could have tangled, perhaps. We're not sure, but then he threw his arm straight up after that incident.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what was going on.
Well, confusing start here with this French Grand Prix. That's Sarron you're looking at now, the Frenchman. The row 2 and 3 riders really came through on the start. They virtually jumped the start.
Oh, Christian. I just really hope that Chris doesn't go nuts, and I don't care how you do, Christian, just end up in one piece. That's the main thing.
Well, that was a big half lose. He really sort of got back to grips with the bike again as it slammed from one side to the other. And of course, we're going to see a lot of Sarron tonight, being the French Grand Prix. They'll give plenty of coverage to their own rider, so the pressure's right on him.
Yeah, Wayne into the lead. You can see the Honda certainly hasn't lost any of its speed, although the Yamaha looks just as quick now.
And listen to the crowd now, because it's not only Gardner out in front, Sarron really starting to throw out the challenge as he did last weekend in the Yugoslav Grand Prix, and it's now Gardner and Sarron slips through in the French crowd. You can hear him from here.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a ding-dong between Christian and Wayne, because at all costs Wayne wants to win this race, as does Sarron in front of his home crowd. So I think it's going to be quite a hard one. I'm really surprised to see the Suzuki up in third position. I think it's just the fact that Schwanz is such a hard rider. I don't think it's down to the speed of the bike at the moment.
Well, it's a big effort from Schwanz with that knee problem, and here he is in third position.
Can't make out what's going on with Schwanz. He keeps sitting up and looking around and waving his arms around. Unless he's having some kind of trouble with his knee or whatever, but it's all a bit baffling. Back in the lead, Wayne.
Well, a ding-dong battle going up in front because the Australian Wayne Gardner and the Honda just powered past Sarron again, and that's Schwanz in third place. And look at this, side by side, wheel by wheel. There's nothing in this. This is a real dog fight out front, but it's Gardner from Sarron, then Schwanz.
And then Rainey and Mackenzie.
Honda out in front, Yamaha and Suzuki. So a battle of the makes tonight.
Yeah, it is, and I just can't believe that Schwanz has got the Suzuki up there. You can see that Schwanz is sitting awkwardly on the bike. He's sitting very upright.
Wayne Gardner, the Australian boy from Wollongong, doing everything he can in the last 3 or 4 weeks to get back into this championship fight that he's having with Eddie Lawson, the American. Lawson, of course, not getting the major points last weekend, and Gardner now back in front, and Sarron chasing him. Then we've got Schwanz there in third position. Great shot there as they swing over and head into the corner again.
Yeah, it's a very, very fast corner, and one of Christian's favourites. It's interesting to see that Lawson has suddenly come into the picture. He's in 5th place at the moment. And yes, he's definitely made up a lot of ground. He made up over a second in that lap. So as long as the leading pack doesn't get away, that's the difficult thing around Ricard. If you lose contact with the leading bunch, then you're really struggling.
Well, another half a lose there, but the Frenchman inspired tonight. You can hear the crowd every time he comes around. They're roaring him, and now he's starting to get a little bit of ground on Wayne Gardner too. Yeah,
I don't think he's going to pull away too much from Wayne. As I said a few times before, Wayne and Chris get on good, and they just Wayne doesn't want to stay too close to Christian, especially in France.
Well, let's recap for you now, because we've got Sarron out in front, then Gardner, then Schwanz, then Wayne Rainey, Lawson and Kevin McGee in 6th place, the other Australian.
Yeah, Wayne back in front again.
Well, this is a marvellous race. Just lead swapping here between the Frenchman and the Australian. Schwanz just sitting back in 3rd place, happy to be there at the moment. Campbell's also in the top 10 on bike number 60, as we look at shots from Ron Haslam's Elf Honda.
Well, that's an exceptional bit of trying from Campbell to be on the first 10 on that thing. I think that definitely deserves a pat on the head. So to our Tasmanian viewers, your boy doing very well on what's been described as a pretty ordinary motorbike. He's running in the top 10 at the moment, but it's the other Australian, Wayne Gardner. He's in 1st. We've got McGee back in 6th, and here's shots again from the camera bike. That's Ron Haslam's Elf Honda for you as it winds down the straight. Yeah, you just can't appreciate the speed from when you get it from behind the plastic screen, but it's a very, very fast straight.
Kevin Schwanz in the white colours there, running 3rd. It's Gardner and Sarron. Gardner out wide. That's Sarron underneath in the blue colours. Schwanz now starting to close up and throw a challenge out from 3rd place as well. So nothing in this at the moment. We've already seen the lead change 3 or 4 times between Gardner and Sarron after a pretty ordinary start.
Yeah, Wayne's got some lovely lines around this track, even though he hasn't done any 24-hour races there to my knowledge, but he's got some good lines, some nice wide flowing lines, and that makes a big difference around Ricard, because the smoother you are, the wider, the more track you use, the less you tear the tyres to shreds.
Schwanz now having a look up the inside.
Up in the... We've got a little shot in the corner. I can't see who it is.
That was Patrick Agoa.
Patrick Agoa, that's Christian Sarron's teammate, who's also done a lot of 24-hour races at this circuit, but it didn't do him a lot of good. So
Wayne Gardner, and look at the different lines here as we see the riders coming into the corner from all different angles, obviously coming out on the same line, but interesting there that Schwanz has elected to come inside.
Yeah, I think Schwanz was trying to stuff it up the inside of Sarron. That was his main objective, but he didn't have too much luck.
Plenty of dust in the air too as somebody else has gone off wide. No sign of a bike down. That heat haze coming off again, but it's Wayne Gardner from Australia on the Honda. He's 1st at the moment. Christian Sarron from France on bike number 7. He is next. Then here's a big move now from Schwanz coming up on the Suzuki. Let's see how it pans out now. Schwanz still trailing Sarron though.
Yeah, and you can see just in the background there, you can see Lawson's pulling Rainey in. So I think you give it another lap and Lawson's going to be well in the hunt.
21 laps of this circuit, and we're on lap number 5 at the moment.
Yeah.
Sarron, though, with a beautiful move up on the inside, just lined Gardner up and slipped underneath again.
Yeah, you see, that's the nice, well, whoever it is, let's hope he's okay. Nice wide line that Wayne was using. It's, yeah, it is Patrick Igoa. Well, he's moving his legs, so that's part of the battle. Oh, is there someone else down there as well? Yes, 2 riders.
Yeah,
down.
there's 2 riders down. We've only got information on 1, but it must have been a pretty heavy shunt. They've been down for some time. They're still working on the Frenchman. Yeah,
it looks as if it's the corner where the right-hander before you come onto the long straight.
They're building a stretcher underneath him as well there, so obviously a little fearful of maybe some spinal damage. Back to the race, though. Lap number 6, Wayne Gardner back in the lead. So what a race this is, Barry. We've seen 4 or 5 lead changes already, and these 3 have never been that, well, that's about the distance they've been apart since they started.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a struggle to keep this up for 21 laps. I remember I did a 200-mile race around this circuit, and I raced for, I think, 180 miles with Christian, first and second. So.
The other rider that was down was Gardner's teammate.
Well, it could be, yes. It looks like it may be Shunji Yatsushiro, the Japanese rider. We haven't got any confirmation on that yet, but he looks like the candidate.
Well, this has been fast and furious. It was Gardner, then Sarron, then back with Gardner. Sarron again. Look at Kevin Schwanz now. Comes right down on the inside, side by side, and has a touch too with Christian Sarron. So it's all happening here at Paul Ricard, but tucks in again to fill in behind in 3rd place.
Yeah, and Lawson's just nipped past Rainey for 4th place.
So Eddie Lawson on the move. He's the big mover at the moment while the dogfight's on up front. Lawson, Eddie Lawson, the American, with a damaged shoulder, fighting his way back through the pack on the Yamaha. And there we have it. Sarron, Gardner, Schwanz, Rainey, Lawson and McGee still in 6th place, the other Australian.
Yeah, it looks like Kevin McGee's got dropped off a little bit by that bunch, which is a pity, really, because these guys, what they'll do is slipstream one another and just tow themselves away from the rest of the bunch. So if you see this lot pull out a big lead, don't be surprised.
And Sarron, of course, back in front. There's only 4 seconds covering the top 6 riders. Christian Sarron out in front again. Schwanz has another move on Gardner. Gardner tucks it the other way, though, so it's the Frenchman first.
Yeah, it looks like de Radiguez has just nipped past Kevin McGee. This is a shot going from Haslam's bike past the start and finish, coming into this section that you just see Christian coming out of now. Christian coming down into first, into the right hander, pretty slow corner, 80-90 kilometers, accelerate out of there. Up to around 130, second, third, back into first.
And Didier de Radiguez has bumped the Australian McGee back 1 with a passing move we saw back just half a lap or so ago, but the dogfight's still up in front. Sarron in front. Wayne Gardner chasing him. Schwanz on the Suzuki is 3rd, and they've been so close all night, but the rest of the riders starting to close up a little now because of the intensity of the battle up front.
Yeah, well, what happens when you get 3 guys going hammer and tongs like these are, all it does is quickest lap by Sarron, 2:009, so that's not 1 and a bit seconds off the lap record, 1.4 seconds off the lap record in actual fact.
Okay, let's go to the top 7 for you. It's Sarron, Gardner, Schwanz, Lawson, Rainey, de Radiguez and McGee. That's the top 7 places for you. And only 6 seconds covering, but look at this as Schwanz comes round, and back comes Sarron now around the outside, but Schwanz has taken 2nd place. Well, he's been eating away at the Frenchman, but look at Gardner now. He's back in front, but that's been a great fight between the 2, and now another rider emerging.
Yeah, that's Lawson, and I wouldn't mind betting you see at the end of the long straight, through the next part of this lap, you're going to see Lawson get into the lead, because he's in a perfect position, because he'll slipstream Sarron, past Sarron, slipstream Schwanz, and then it gives him a good run on Wayne. So it's the ideal position to be in on the last lap.
Lap 8. This is a 21 lap race.
Yeah, Pier Francesco Chili's got past Kevin McGee now.
Another look from the camera bike, but we're saying that Lawson, the big mover at the moment. The Australian still out in front though, Wayne Gardner. Inside, Kevin Schwanz on the white bike and leathers there, then Sarron and then Lawson and then Rainey.
Yeah, what Lawson's going to be looking to do now is get exactly where he is and get a good run on them. This right-hander, then there's a long left-hander onto the main straight, and that's the one you make a good job of. This left-hander now, you've got to make a good job of that, and then you get a good run on Christian, and he should get a good enough run on Christian to be able to nip past Chris, which he is just about to do by the looks of it. And then it will take him past Christian. He'll get another run on Schwanz. It's quite a weird thing, Slipstream. It'll give you sort of another 600 or 700. Well, Chris lets him pass, that is.
Well, he went very wide, didn't he, Lawson? Look at this. He's going to tuck into second place, right in behind Gardner now.
Right. Now the trick is on the inside here, on the right-hand side of Wayne.
Well, Sarron now coming through on the inside. So this is a fantastic dice. This is motor racing at its very, very best on two wheels, I'll tell you, because Sarron just slingshotted from third straight up into first place again. There's nothing in this. Any one rider. Now look at the move here. Sarron goes in low. Wayne Gardner way out on the boondocks there on that corner. Lawson out there with him. Schwanz in with Sarron, and Sarron just nips him underneath and takes first place, and there they go. And how close is that?
Well, it's one of those corners where whichever line you take, it never seems to be the right one, because someone can always get up the inside of you or up the outside of you.
Lap 9 they're on now. Let's recheck the places for you. Gardner back in front, Sarron, then Lawson, then Schwanz, then Rainey, Radegate, Kelly, McGee, and then Haslam. Three brands in the top four. You've got Honda, Yamaha and Suzuki.
Certainly is a hard-going race. When you're pushing the bike as hard as this for a full 21 laps, and the circuit at Ricard, as I said earlier on, is very, very abrasive. So don't be at all surprised to see people start sliding around. I would say about lap 15 is the favourite.
Well, this is a very brave ride from Lawson. Damaged shoulder. He said after practice that he took the bandage off. It was too restrictive, but it was hurting a lot to keep the power on, in particularly the fast parts of this racetrack.
Well, yeah, the thing is that if it's only pain, it's all right. It's when you lose strength. It's the same as Wayne. He rode at Imola with broken toes and God knows what else. It was only pain. You know, it's pain you can sort of grit your teeth for, but when you lose strength, you can't.
Well, Lawson visited a very special man through the week, the man that used to look after
Nicky Lauder,
Willie Dungle. And if you ever read Lauder's book, he really did sort of praise that man for really keeping him going in a car, particularly after he had that horrific crash.
Oh yeah, that's so. And by the look of the way that Lawson's going, you could say he's done a good job, couldn't you? He's definitely seems to have sorted him out.
I'm glad you said that. But Willie Dungle, the man that's got Lawson back, and he's now running in third. We've got Sarron back in front again. So this race is changing lap by lap as the leaders fight it out. And there's just nothing in the top four places.
Radegate is on the move now. He's chasing Killy, so it's a pity we can't get too lots of cameras, because there's a very good race going on in the second bunch.
Gardner, Sarron, Schwanz, Lawson. 1, 2, 3, 4. There they are. And this has just been magic to watch as the lead has been changing from the Lawson now in with a quick lap.
That's a really quick one. That's the first one under 2 minutes. So it's not getting on for 2 seconds off his own lap record.
Australia's hopes though. Wayne Gardner in front. Christian Sarron on bike number 7. In the blue leathers is second place at the moment. Schwanz and Lawson fighting it out.
The great thing about this racetrack is that you could get a situation like this on the last lap, And you'd need a crystal ball to guess who's going to win it, because there's so many places, especially that double right-hander.
Well, Lawson now moving to the inside. He had a look. He came up the inside. Let's see if he gets the run into this corner this time. I don't think so.
The thing is, if you come up with the inside going into that corner, you get in quick, but you don't get out so quick, and that's the main thing. See, a last lap situation here. Christian likes the inside here. Well, that's all you need, is stuck behind a back marker. Oh, Wayne got a good run. Yeah, but there again, so did everybody else. So.
Yeah, but he really did slingshot himself around there, but so did the rest of the pack. So it looked like they were going to get balked for a second, but no, they've all got round. So it's still Gardner, Sarron, Lawson, and Schwanz, the first four. And what a close race this is. Like one tiny little mistake and you'll go from first to fourth or fifth here.
Well, that's it. All you need to do is miss a gear. So coming out of this next right-hander, change from first into second, miss a gear, and all of a sudden from the lead you're sort of lost a second and a half. It's quite a struggle.
The lap 11. So the race now well and truly into the halfway stages.
And you see Mamela coming up there now. He's got past Kevin McGee, and he's hot foot after killing.
Lawson now in spot number 2 and chasing Gardner. So here it is, the ding-dong battle that everybody was waiting for. I mean, most of the Australians would rather see Lawson finish back a little. That's not being derogative to him, because we'd like to see this championship fought right to the wire. But he's running second at the moment. Sarron has been bumped back to third. Schwanz is fourth. Wayne Gardner still out in front. But the challenge is coming from Eddie Lawson.
Yeah, I see the back end of Wayne's bike started. He had a real long drift on around that right-hander there. So let's just hope that it's not tearing the tyres to pieces too much.
In fifth place is Rainey. Then we had the Radagays, then Killy. Mamela's the big mover. He's in eighth and heading forward all the time. McGee and then Haslam. Well, look at this side by side now as Lawson makes his move, tucks in underneath, and takes the lead off Wayne Gardner. So Lawson, the big improver, he's come from way out of the clouds and now leads. Can Gardner come back?
I would say so. I can't see that Wayne is going to let Lawson get away on a circuit like this with such a long straight, unless Lawson was lucky enough to get sort of a second and a half gap and get so that he's not towing anybody along. That's the main thing to try and do. If he could get sort of 200-yard gap, that is a real asset, because then nobody can sit in the slipstream. Well,
he is opening up a little break here, and they're starting to spread out a little bit. This is about the furthest we've seen them apart. That's Gardner in second spot. Sarron is behind him in third. And Lawson just taking the lead as they close up a little again now. Gardner crouched down, getting the power down. A big flick of the wrist as he's trying to get to Eddie Lawson now. But Lawson, what a brave ride. He's come out of nowhere in this race and just gradually worked his way to the lead. The dogfight was going on between Schwanz, Gardner and Sarron, and Lawson just sat there and waited for his chance. Gardner again now on the inside, and the Australian fights back. Well, this is magic stuff. This is great stuff.
Yeah, that's a good move there by Gardner, because now he's going to be able to suss out the speed of Lawson's bike, and that's so important when it comes to a last lap dash, to know if the guy behind you's got a quicker bike and you sit behind him and slipstream.
How do you feel when you fought your way through like Lawson has done? You hit the front and then Gardner seems to come back where you've got a little bit of a gap like that. He comes back and takes the lead back. I mean, what goes through your mind then?
Well, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I mean, you do it, you fight, and Lawson will get back in front, and then Gardner will get back in front. It's good, because what it does, it makes the race seem like a 5-lap heat as against a 21-lap Grand Prix. There's nothing worse than, oh, Lawson right around the outside. No, Wayne back in again. Well, there's some pretty radical lines, barriers. They're trying to fight for any edge they can get. And, of course, now Sarron and Schwanz have closed right up again, and Schwanz slips through and takes third place. That's the corner to watch on the last lap. If there's a bunch of four like this, it's going to be something else. Well, the Frenchman, he's led. He's been bumped into second, third. Now he's back to fourth. But who's to say he won't get back in front? But Gardner now opening that little break that we saw Lawson get in much the same position on the track. But Lawson coming back under brakes now.
Kevin Schwanz, Sarron all closing up, and let's look at the lines here as they try and get a toe, and Gardner tries to shake them off. We're in lap 13.
Yeah, you can see all the leading bunch of bikes now. When they accelerate out of the corners, you can just see the backs. If you look closely, you can see the back end of the bike starting to drift, slide, call it what you like, and that's when it gets a little bit tricky.
Well, some great camera shots from the French television tonight. We're really seeing Grand Prix bike racing at its best.
Yeah, there's no two ways about it. I mean, I may be a little bit biased, but I think the motorcycle racing is an incredible sport to watch.
Reminder to our Formula One buffs that the Hockenheim race, the German Grand Prix, follows the bikes tonight, so stay with us. It's a big night of motor racing here, but keep your fingers crossed for Wayne Gardner. He's got Lawson side by side again. Up they come. Now, this corner will be interesting to see because Lawson out very wide, Barry.
Yeah, there's a classic. You see Sarron's back in front of Schwanz now, and all that is slipstream, knowing Lawson around the outside, but Wayne's got the best position there for the double right-hander.
But he's got him.
Yeah,
Lawson's got him.
And Sarron's got him as well.
Well, this is amazing. I mean, Lawson and Sarron went wide then. Gardner had a little half loser. It was just a little wobble off the back of the bike. Bang, they're through.
That's all it takes.
So Eddie Lawson now in front. Christian Sarron is second. Wayne Gardner is third again now.
You can see it's pretty close here. And you see Wayne's bike just wriggling around a bit at the back there. And Lawson's bike as well, but not as much.
Well, Eddie Lawson's pulled in a 1:59.40. That's the fast lap, and it's a new record.
Trying to get through the traffic here. Oh, Christian accelerating on the white line there. That's what caused the back end to step out.
Well, they're all over the place as they pour up the straight on lap 14. There's still Lawson. Gardner's tucked back inside into second place. Sarron is now third, so Gardner's fighting back. Watch this little touch. Amazing race. The lead has changed virtually on every lap. Gardner went from first back to third. He's back to second. Sarron relegated to third. Schwanz back in fourth place, but it's Lawson, the American, the championship leader, out in front at the moment.
Yeah, it's a lap scorer's nightmare, I should think. You can see really Wayne's bike was sliding on the back end worse than anybody's coming on around that right-hander onto the long straights. Let's just hope the Honda doesn't destroy the tyre too badly.
Gardner back, he's taken that inside line again, and Lawson just tucks up, and look at Sarron. He's in a position now where he may make another move. Lawson.
I think we'll know if Christian gets back in the lead, and just shut our eyes, we'll hear when he does.
Lawson goes so wide there and then just tucks in, and he has a little wobble this time.
Yeah, it's, as I say, this section here, whichever line you take around it, Chris likes the inside here, and back into second now for Christian.
Lawson back into third. Well, from first to second to third, it's just a seesawing race, this one. Anyone can win this. It'll be a big slingshot on the last lap if they can't get a break, and it's just the slightest break they need.
Well, if it's as it is now on the last lap, don't ask me, Darryl, who's going to win it, because I haven't got the faintest. All I could say is if it's a last lap thing like this, yeah, I would go for Christian, only for the fact that it's in front of his own crowd.
Well, the other big improver is the Kajiva bike with Manila. He's now in sixth spot, moving forward. Lap 15, 7 to go. Well, if you had to pick the bravest rider on the last lap.
Now you see there, interrupting you, Lawson got stuck behind a back marker there, as did Schwanz, and it lost them a real lot of ground there.
And that could be just the buffer that he needs, because Sarron's still there though. But if you had to pick the bravest rider of those four on the last lap to pull a desperate, who would it be?
I would say the bravest would probably be Kevin Schwanz. You know, for an effort, you just say, oh, don't believe it. But there again, Christian could pull one out of the bag. It's so hard to say. If I was going for reliability and And common sense, I'd go for Lawson and Gardner. You know, whatever happens, I couldn't see them making a hash up of it on the last lap.
Well, that's McGee there we can see up in front of Ron Haslam's bike, and he's really right over the circuit onto the ripple strips there. Kevin McGee being chased by Ron Haslam in the Elf Honda, starting to reel McGee in too.
Yeah, you can see there the Honda's a hell of a lot quicker than the... Oh, I can't believe the difference in the speed. Honda's a lot quicker than Kevin McGee's bike.
Gardner in front, Sarron with a little look over the shoulder that time. Lawson still in third place, but it's the Australian out in front, and it's been all over the place tonight. Everyone's led at some stage or another out of these four. Lawson back in third. Schwanz now has dropped off a little in fourth, so it looks like it's going to be fought out of the three bikes we can see at the moment. Lawson in the red, Sarron in the blue, and in the blue and the white, the Australian, Wayne Gardner out in front.
Yeah, I think Schwanz may have made a little faux pas somewhere because he lost a lot of ground in a very short space of time.
Conditions perfect in Franklin at the Paul Ricard circuit as Gardner now slams the bike from one side to the other. Sarron hanging on desperately though, riding in front of his home crowd, but look at Lawson eating away, has a little look again, tucks in behind. Tactics all important at the moment.
Yeah, usually in a situation where you're dicing with a couple of other guys, you'll be thinking, okay, I'll suss him out here, I'll line him up, he's slow here or fast there, but it's not the you can see Wayne's bike slides a lot then. It's not the not that situation here because they'd be so occupied with what's going on that as far as the last lap plan, they'll formulate their last lap plan on the last lap, you know, just play it by ear.
Well, you really don't know how close they are because they are really only half a metre apart. And look at Lawson now. He comes up wide again. It looks like he's got Sarron again for second. Let's see what happens as they throw in. Yes, that's correct. Lawson has battled his way back into second place again. Still a little bit back from Gardner. And he has a little wobble again.
And let's see Christian here on the inside. That's his favourite part on the inside. Oh no, Lawson shut the door there. Now that's the position on the last lap. Whoever goes through that double right-hander on the last lap has got to go through it, tie it in, because nobody can. The only way around it, past you then, is around the outside. And you'd have to be a brave or a very foolish one to try it because you never get through.
Well, Eddie Lawson obviously lost any feeling of pain he's got in this race tonight. He's hanging on to the Australian Gardner, the challenger. Well, of course, he's the world title holder, but the challenger this year as Lawson's got the major points. And look at this, it's some big wobbles as they come out of that one.
Yeah, it's just everybody's tyres getting hot now, and it's always a dodgy thing. You see the back end of Schwanz's bike just slide in there, and it slides him out onto the white line, then he hits the bumps, and it's a vicious circle.
We're on lap 17, 16 completed, 5 to go. Can Wayne Gardner hang on? Eddie Lawson throws out the challenge in second. We've got Sarron, the Frenchman. He's in third. A lot of pressure from the home crowd. He's on his home circuit. Would dearly love to win tonight. He's led many times here tonight, but this has been a great duel.
Yeah, it's anybody's guess when you get this long straight. It's the best, probably the best position to be in would be in third position here on the last lap if it's as close as it is here, because you can get a good run on the slipstream, line it up good for the double right-hander at the end of the straight. And Lawson
just putting some power down, and can he slip through? He has. Well, he's taken the lead off Gardner again. The lap's falling away, and Lawson with a big brave move there went way past the Honda. Dive from the outside, across and took the line, and Gardner now back in second. We've got another bike off the track. Try and pick that up for you if we can. But it's Lawson, Gardner, nothing in it. Sarron. Wayne Gardner trying to line him up now, closing up under brakes, but Lawson just gets that little buffer. Gardner gets the power down quickly and comes right up to the Yamaha. It's Yamaha, Honda and Yamaha, and then Suzuki at the moment.
Yeah, the lucky thing is they seem to have got through. It looks like Gardner's back in the front again now.
Well, Gardner now fighting his way back. Well, this is just amazing stuff here tonight. Riders just forcing their way back. We might just have a quick look at the championship points, Barry, because it's so vital.
Yeah, I just don't want to take my eyes off the screen about to miss something.
Either, but we'll run through them anyway, because Lawson's on 165, Gardner on 145, Rainey on 132, McGee on 100. That's all we'll worry about at the moment, and Sarron on 91. So, really, points gained here tonight, all going Eddie Lawson's way.
Still ready. Oh, still ready.
Well, some pumping and grinding and wheel lifting.
Heavy heart rate from a cameraman, I should think. 18 out of 21, so we haven't got many to go now.
The Australian in front on lap 18. Lawson now coming up, and he puts the power down on this Yamaha again, and he really seems to have the legs on the Honda, because that's where he seems to gain all the ground on Gardner each lap.
Well, yeah, the tables are turned. At one stage of the game, Lawson was saying the Honda was a hell of a lot quicker, but it doesn't seem as if it is now. There's nothing to choose between any of them, apart from the fact the Honda still slides around a lot on the back end.
Gardner now coming up with some traffic.
Now it can do him a lot of good or a lot of harm. Let's just hope he can nip inside one just as you get into a twisty section, and that can give you the break that you need. Around the outside, yeah, and the guy goes, oh! I should say the guy was just about to shut the door on Lawson, but Lawson picked the lock and opened it up again.
Sarron tucking in close again as Lawson goes out wide. Here's a replay of this. Now have a look at how close they go here.
See, I thought this back mark here was going to shut the door on Lawson, which in actual fact he did, but Lawson had such a charge and he went, oh no you don't. Oh. Doesn't come much harder than this.
3 laps to go. We're on lap 19. Wayne Gardner with a little break, and that's probably the best break he's had in the whole race.
Yeah, that is for sure. Now what he wants to do now is go as hard as he can. Not that he isn't already, but if he can just pile the coals on as hard as he can when it gets to the last couple of laps. That's always the first 2 or 3 guys, they put everything into it just to try and make a break. And if Wayne can just get sort of 80, 100 metres on Lawson, then he could be in the pound seats.
Gee, it's been a great ride from Schwanz on the Suzuki too. I mean, he's still sitting there in 4th place. He's carrying the knee injury. He's coming back from injury. He's hung on tonight, though, like a drover's dog.
Yeah, he sure has. And the Suzuki through speed traps was nowhere near as quick as the Honda or the Yamaha. And Schwanz is just about to lose some time, getting stuck behind the back marker by the looks of it. Wayne
Gardner from Australia out in front with a little buffer now. The biggest margin he's had right throughout this race.
Oh, yeah. You see, this is just what Wayne wants. He wants Christian and Eddie to start fighting with one another. And they're going to slow one another up and let Wayne get the break.
Sarron still fighting in 3rd place. Lawson is in 2nd place. Kevin Schwanz on the Suzuki is in 4th place. And that 2nd, 3rd and 4th you can see now Gardner with a little buffer out in front. But this has been one of the great bike races. Lead swapped right from the first lap. It was a poor start from the fancied front row. They got left standing. They had to battle their way through, and from then on they've just swapped the lead lap after lap.
Well, that lead that Wayne's got now looks really healthy to me. It's hope that he doesn't get stuck behind any of the back markers. He's putting everything into it now. This is it. He knows he's got 1 lap to run, and they only pay the last lap, so it's all or nothing now, and that looks a nice enough lead to me.
Well, Eddie Lawson's probably content in a way to sit there in 2nd place, knowing how the championship points table is.
Well, yes and no. You know, I don't think any more than Eddie would like to beat Wayne.
Remember, the points places are in 1st place 20 points, 2nd 17, 3rd 15, 4th 13. They're the major point scorers that we'll be looking at, because that's vital to this championship. And Sarron makes another move. Well, they're just at it all the time here as another back marker gets in front of Wayne Gardner.
Now that back marker is absolutely perfect for Wayne. He's got a nice draft off of him, good slipstream, and he's going to be stuck in front of Sarron, Lawson and Schwanz. So I would say it's all over bar the shouting.
Sarron and Lawson still fighting out second and third place. The Frenchman hanging on. He goes on the outside line as Lawson tucks the bike over, allowing Wayne Gardner, as Barry said, just to have that little run away and maybe get that second or two buffer that he wants.
Well, Wayne has definitely got all he wants now. All he has to do is keep that gap, and he's in a no worries situation, as they say.
Eddie Lawson from the United States, the championship points leader. In second place, Christian Sarron from France on the blue bike. He's in third. Australia's Wayne Gardner out in front. And the French television coverage is staying with their boy at the moment.
Well, yeah, it's obvious, a bit of a partisan cameraman. Yeah, let's hope this is the last lap. And if nothing goes wrong with the bike, Wayne's got it in the bag.
Wayne Gardner from Wollongong, the reigning world champion, out in front of him. What a battle he's had to put up tonight too. Lawson is second, Sarron is third, but Wayne Gardner now on the last lap. He's just got to hold it together for win number 4. What a fantastic fight back this season it's been from the boy on the Honda. He's had broken bones, he's had an ill-handling bike, he's had everything go wrong, but this could be his 4th victory on the trot.
Now we've got to hope is that Christian stuffs it up the inside of Eddie on the I think we've got to watch the double right-hander at the end of the fast straight. That's where Christian's going to make his move. In actual fact, it's the only place that Christian can make his move.
Well, Schwanz too, because he's done it before from 4th and slung himself right into first place. Look at this. Schwanz coming up now on the outside. That's Lawson on the red bike in the centre. The blue bike of Sarron side by side with Schwanz. Gardner out in front, but it'll be Lawson in second, then Sarron, then Schwanz. So nothing changes.
Yeah, I would say that Christian is too far back to be able to get a run on Lawson around this double right-hander. Oh, that looks like Gardner.
He's slowed. Something's gone wrong.
Oh, I don't believe it.
He's slowed. Well, this is a tragedy. He's fought his way through, and all of a sudden we just got a glimpse of the bike there. Slowed right down, so that means Lawson now is in front. Sarron is in second place. Schwanz is third. And the Australian, well, rotten luck. Here we are saying he only had to hang on the last lap and the bike has gone off. Something's happened.
Cruel luck. I can't believe it.
Well, he's had just such rotten luck. I mean, he's fought his way through, and here it is, Eddie Lawson heading up now for a win. You can't even see where the Australian is on the Honda, but it just slowed all of a sudden. Something went dramatically wrong. Here's the checkered flag out, and Eddie Lawson has taken it, and he goes, throws his hands up. Sarron is second. Schwanz is third on the Suzuki. He can't believe it. He's flapping his arms around. He's Gardner fourth, looking down at the bike now. The Australian comes across the line in 4th place. Well, he led on the last lap, and with half a lap to go, the bike has let him down.
Oh, I don't believe that. That is just terrible luck for Wayne. I mean, that is just so cruel because he rode a beautiful race, a really outstanding race.
Well, look at the two of the Americans, Schwanz and Lawson. Lawson holding on. I mean, he's obviously in a lot of pain, putting the head down. He can't believe what's happened. Schwanz was up beside him, patting him on the back. Sarron waving to the crowd now. Here it is as they go over the line again. It's Lawson, Sarron, Schwanz, and the Australian, Wayne Gardner, leading on to that last and final lap as we see Lawson take the checkered flag. And the Honda let him down. And Schwanz does a big mono over the line, throws his arms up. He cannot believe his luck. He's in 3rd place. Eddie Lawson acknowledging the crowd. It was a brave ride from him, but a marvellous ride from the Australian. And the bike let him down with half a lap to go.
Oh, I must admit, that's the first time I've ever seen anybody get such bad luck as that. I mean, if the guy had a duck, it'd drown. I mean, that is terrible. That is so unfair because he rode a really outstanding race.
Well, let's have a look at our unofficial places. It's Lawson, Sarron and Schwanz. We know that's right. Gardner in 4th, Rainey, then Mamela. So the point score as we see it now, as we're waiting for the riders to wind down, Eddie Lawson now sitting on 185 points out in front. Wayne Gardner back on 158 points. Wayne Rainey, he's on 143. And that's how it stands at the moment. Well, rotten luck for Australia's Wayne Gardner. A fantastic race here tonight. The lead swapping around and the bike let him down with half a lap to go. Well, this big crowd, they cannot believe it as the flags are waved. Eddie Lawson, the American, and you've got to give it to him. He's come back from an injury, saluting the crowd there. Schwanz, very, very happy. The other American too. Look at this, he can't believe it. He's had a great ride coming back from injury also on the Suzuki. But Eddie Lawson, a lot of class here tonight. He rode with a lot of injury. Well, Schwanz has just gone berserk. I mean, he's just lifting the front wheel up right around his last lap.
Well, yeah, Schwanz can't believe his luck. The bike just wasn't quick in practice. He wasn't all that happy with it. As you say, he had a very sore knee, and I would imagine he would have been the last bloke in the paddock that I thought he'd finish in the first three, but I just can't.